I'm Paul Perkins with the check of your ag weather. Your seasonal highs, mostly in the 30s to the low 40s, are likely through Saturday. With southeast winds kicking in over snow-covered areas, fog continues to develop from east to west through this evening. Dense fog is likely for tonight and persists through tomorrow. There is a chance of a wintry mix of rain and freezing drizzle this evening into tomorrow morning. A light wintry mix remains possible with more disturbances tomorrow night through Wednesday night. The more likely time for impactful freezing precipitation is tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. With the persistent cloud cover, snowpack, and light winds, occasional fog remains possible for much of this week. Some sunshine returns for Thursday as high pressure builds closer. Precipitation expected to stay to the south with low pressure for Friday through Saturday. Full sunshine returns by Sunday with highs in the upper 30s to the 40s. Temperatures warm even more into the 40s and some 50s for next week. The long-term forecast indicates there's a very good chance of warmer than normal temperatures continuing this weekend through the first 4 days of February in Nebraska, Kansas, and nearly all of the U.S. For the last week of January through the early days of February, central Nebraska daytime highs are usually in the upper 30s, and overnight lows on average are in the mid-teens. Nebraska and Kansas are likely to be dry this weekend through early next week before slightly higher chances of precipitation the middle of next week through February 4th. Key weather factors impacting the markets include warmer and wet weather in the U.S. this week, mostly good weather in Brazil, and dry weather concerns in Argentina. Harsh weather across the central and eastern U.S. ends this week as mild air rapidly spreads eastward. During the transition, some wintry precipitation briefly affects areas from the southern plains into the Midwest. Parts of Illinois could see up to a quarter inch of ice. Snow cover across more than half of the U.S. should shrink as warmer air arrives. Heavy rain in the western Gulf Coast gradually moves eastward with 5-day totals reaching 2 to 6 inches or more from eastern Texas to the southern Appalachians. Across the deep south, locally severe thunderstorms may accompany the heavy rain. Periods of unsettled weather affect the Pacific coast and parts of the southwest, with light precipitation falling as far east as the Rockies. Dry weather prevails the next 5 days across the northern plains and the far upper Midwest. Central Brazil rainfall becomes more widespread and consistent this week. Conditions in central Brazil improve for soybeans that are still maturing, but with harvest underway for early planted beans, the rainfall could delay the harvest. More consistent rain also benefits central Brazil's second crop corn planting that's in the very early stages. Far southern Brazil is drier this week, possibly longer, a concern for areas that missed the recent beneficial rains. Towards Argentina, mostly dry weather continues this week, causing corn and soybean conditions to decline. In southern Europe, a large Mediterranean storm provided more rain for wheat this past weekend. Good precipitation has benefited vegetative wheat in Spain and Italy before drier conditions this week. Temperatures continue to be above normal for much of the main growing areas of Europe this week. I'm Paul Perkins. That's a check of your ag weather.